that out.
All right, guys. Okay, so welcome on to the broadcast here. We got some severe storms moving to Oklahoma. I'm here with Nash, who's also on the team, so he's going to be helping me out. We're going to be helping out on some media reports, different things like that. I hope we're working together on that. We got lots of information coming in. Some pretty hefty storms moving in. These are actually severe storms moving into the OKC metro right now. So let's take a quick look at the radar, see what we got going on right now. Obviously, this is Oklahoma City metro. See, the storms are moving in. They're actually already into almost to downtown Oklahoma City. These yellow boxes that you're seeing here, that is the severe thunderstorm warnings that we have for these cells. And then this little line you see on the outside, that's actually what we call an outflow boundary. So this is the outflow boundary. And with that, we're seeing wind gusts maybe 30, 40, even 45 miles an hour with these storms before they even get to their location. So as these storms are moving to the southeast, you may see some strong winds before the actual rain even falls. So again, be prepared for that as that continues to move in. Now, we'll talk about the severe thunderstorms here specifically. Again, the severe storms here potential for 60-mile-an-hour wind gust, maybe a wind gust of 70 miles an hour. We could have a wind gust up to 70 miles an hour in some places. We did have a report of a wind gust earlier of 70 miles an hour that toppled over let's see, I'm looking at the report right here. So we got a tractor trailer that was blown over, and that was near Billings, which is in Noble County. So that was a little bit while ago. That was around 9:09. It's about 30 minutes ago. So these storms have a history of producing very strong winds and very strong wind gusts. Now, we don't just have storms in the Oklahoma City metro. We also have some storms over in the Tulsa metro. So we're going to go look at those really quick, get a little bit of track on those. So here's the storms moving into the Tulsa metro. You can actually see the outflow boundary has almost moved into downtown Tulsa. In fact, we zoom in, it's just about down in the downtown loop. So the outflow boundaries moved in again. You can see those storms moving in to downtown, those in the downtown loop. These are those stronger winds on the outside of the storms before they actually get there, before the rain actually occurs. Then the rain itself is behind it. Again, we're looking at potential for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts with these cells right here. Now, as I'm doing the broadcast, if you're watching, have any questions or comments, feel free to post them here in the comments section, and I'll be forward to put them in, and ask them, and everybody will be able to get them into the broadcast here as we're doing it. So, all right, let's continue to watch this here. Let's go back to the Oklahoma City metro, because that's what we're watching right now.
It's important
that's
to
what I'm most
too,
concerned about.
The Tulsa storms are not severe warned at this point. They could go eventually, but at this point, there's no severe thunderstorm warning.
Warning on the ones near. Okay, so that severe thunderstorm warning has expired then for the storms up near Tulsa. So that's some good news there. The severe thunderstorm warning has expired for the storms near Tulsa. That's some good news. So right now they're just strong then. They're just strong storms with the potential for some 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. But at this time, they do not currently have a severe thunderstorm warning for those storms. Not at this time. We'll see if it gets reissued. Right now, we don't have one. So that's some good news there. But again, just because they're not severe warned doesn't mean that they aren't strong. So again, keep an eye on that as it goes through. So you're looking for very heavy rainfall, a lot of lightning with these storms. We've been seeing lots of pictures of lightning, lots of videos of lightning. So we got a lot of lightning with these storms as they continue to move to the southeast. The hail doesn't look too bad, not seeing much in the way of hail. The biggest concern with these storms tonight is definitely the damaging wind gusts, and that's what the main thing that we're keeping an eye on. Now, all right, let's go back to the Oklahoma City metro. Let's talk about what we got going on there, because again, these are moving in that direction at this time. So we do have a severe thunderstorm warning now. That's just for the western portions of Oklahoma City, includes Mustang, Minco, really the northwestern sides of Moore are inside that severe thunderstorm warning. Yukon, El Reno, all inside that severe thunderstorm warning right now. So again, that's moving to the southeast. This is a fast-moving line of storms. These are moving pretty fast. In fact, we'll get a track on here, and we'll see how fast they are moving. So again, I'm pulling up the warning report right now, so we can get a track on this. So the speed for these storms is about not east-southeast, about 30 miles an hour. So again, they are moving along pretty quick, which way you can see those winds and the stronger winds and things like that. Now let's pull up the velocity, and you can see here, this is where the stronger winds are. So if we look at the area, you see right now, there's Yukon, right near Banner, and near Powers, Oklahoma. This area right here is the area where we're picking up on velocity on our radar, where we're picking up the stronger winds. And those are the ones right there that we're picking up. And those are going to continue to move to the southeast. And so that's why you're looking at, you can see that warning extends to the southeast. You can see it just updated right there. There's not much in the way of anything really bad. It just looks like maybe 50, 60, maybe a gust of 70 or so. That's about what we're looking for these as they come by. Now, I'm going to do a track on this. Let's see if I can move about 30 miles an hour. So by more in about 19 minutes, and Mustang around 11 minutes is when the rain will get to you. It's just the rain and the potential for the 60-mile-an-hour wind gust. But the actual sun wind will get to you well before that. In fact, the outflow boundary that we've been talking about, again, it's the cool air pushing out from a thunderstorm coming out of them. There it is right there. You can see it. I'm going to highlight it here. There it comes right there. There's the outflow boundary that's already moved through Mustang, coming into Moore very shortly, eventually into Newcastle, and then eventually, very soon, into Norman, into the main OU campus. So again, we do expect things will move in to this area very soon. If you're in the OU campus, you need to be prepared that very soon, about the next hour or so, really next 30 minutes to an hour, this line of storms will be moving into your direction, and they will have that potential for some strong wind gusts with that moving in. So, all right. Let's look at some things. Looking at any reports coming in here.
No new reports right now, but it looks like the strongest area of the storm is, like you said, heading right into Grady County and McLean County. Could possibly get the lower half of Cleveland County as well. But just looking at this, the big threat for tonight has to be the wind for sure, up to 60 miles an hour.
60 mile an hour. 60 mile an hour wind gusts. That's the main thing we're concerned with this. Hail does not look like an issue with these storms. Again, some very heavy rain. Now, we may surprised there was some small hail in these storms. But we're not looking at anything major, not looking at really any severe hail with these storms at this time. In fact, it looks like in the warning, it is just for nickel-sized hail, which is about 0.88 inches. So again, not even an inch for the hail. And that's good news there. Not too much in the way of hail. But again, you get strong wind gusts like this, you can still cause some problems, and it can still cause some problems with that. So let's zoom in on the metro now, just right into downtown Oklahoma City. You can see there's a stronger storm coming through the village right now, just about to get to downtown. Downtown's about to experience some heavy rain and lots of lightning with this. And so coming in downtown right now, eventually working its way, continuing to the southeast as it moves into Moore and eventually Norman. And this isn't the only part of the line that's severe. We move to our west, we go further to our southwest, we can see another severe thunderstorm warning with these storms as they continue to move to the southeast. So again, this entire line, except for the northern part, is severe. So basically from Oklahoma City to the southwest along this line, we have severe. And you can see the severe thunderstorm watch, that is until midnight tonight. That's the peak area we see right here. And that's until midnight tonight. I'm going to bet now, once this line of storms moves through your area, the severe threat for you, it's pretty much over. So once the line moves through, that's all you have to really worry about. Once the line moves through, that's all you have to really worry about for the rest of the evening. But again, until then, that severe thunderstorm watch will be there for the potential for this line of severe storms as it moves to the southeast. And that's what we're going to be keeping an eye on as we move through. Now, this entire line of storms didn't just form over the past hour. It's been here for a while. In fact, if I put this in a loop, you can see for the past 3 hours, started mainly in northwestern Oklahoma, then continued to move to the southeast, and now we have it right now. You can really see that outflow boundary. That is a really strong outflow boundary coming out from those storms for sure. There could easily be some 40-mile-an-hour gusts with that, maybe even 45 miles an hour with that outflow boundary that's coming out of the storms. And I bet there's a temperature drop with that, too. Do you want to look that up, Nash?
Yeah,
He's going to look up the temperatures right now.
Another interesting thing I wanted to point out as well, just north of, I forget what county this actually is, but in Hinton, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, the Mesonet site? Okay.
The Mesonet site actually picked up 52-mile-an-hour straight line winds here in the last 30 minutes or so.
Okay.
So that's an important thing to note, and that's the one actually heading towards the Norman area.
It's
on
there's
path to.
Hinton,
At this point, it's not warned for that area, but it's just to the west of Oklahoma City.
Yeah, so again, there it is right there, Hinton. There's talking about the Mesonet site right there near Hinton. I'm going to highlight it right there. Had a wind gust up to 52 miles an hour. So again, 52 miles an hour wind gust with that cell as it moved through the Hinton Mesonet site earlier. So there you go. There's that potential for those stronger winds with these storms as they move through. So we already have some confirmed reports, so to say, of those strong wind gusts coming through this storm right now with these storms as they continue to move to the southeast. And so we can see this I keep talking about it because it's fairly significant. You really, sometimes you don't always see a outflow boundary this strong, but sometimes you can. So, all right, here's temperatures. It's about 20 degree
temperature drop, yeah.
A 10-degree temperature drop with these, and even cooler in far northeastern Oklahoma. We're seeing some 60s in northeastern Oklahoma with these storms that go through.
It's important to remember this is all along a cold front. This is just a big organized squall line. Once it sweeps through, it's going to bring cool temperatures. So at least there's a plus side to all of this rain and heavy winds that are going to be coming through.
Right. Okay. So there you go. Cool air coming in, which is kind of a welcome relief. It wasn't too hot today, but again, it's a welcome relief. Some of the cool air moving in with the storm as it moves through, some cooler moving behind it. But unfortunately, you have the severe storms with it, which is obviously not always what we want. So a little bit of update here. Let's work on the timing for the I-35 corridor. Let's work on that right now. So again, timing for the I-44 corridor right now, or actually the I-35 corridor, I should say. If we put this out, the outflow boundary itself. So here's the outflow boundary, the beginning of those stronger wind gusts up to 40 to 45 miles an hour. If I take this, let's just go, it's moving about 30 miles an hour. It might move a little bit different than that, but we'll just do that for simplicity's sake. So again, moving into more very shortly. Newcastle in about 7 minutes. Norman in about 20 minutes from now. About 20 minutes from now, you're going to see this outflow boundary move into your area, here on the OU campus, and we're seeing those wind gusts up to 45 miles an hour, maybe even 50 miles an hour. We'll have to check the mesonet as that moves through. We'll have to see if the mesonet picks up anything as those move through. We'll see if the mesonet sites pick up any strong wind gusts with that.
Wind gusts of upper 40s as the system moves through, all the way from Tulsa down to the southwestern portion of Oklahoma. So the entire squall line has very strong
wind gusts. Again,
it just looks like the strongest point is, again, what you talked about, that one heading into Grady County.
52? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean, again, moving through, again, strong wind gusts. You're going to have some strong wind gusts with this, so you need to prepare for that. If you're in the path of this line, you're going to see at least some strong wind gusts. Maybe not necessarily severe, but you will see some strong wind gusts as this line of storms move through. So again, getting closer to normal. About 20 minutes from now is when the outflow boundaries are going to get there. That's not the rain. That's the winds before the actual rain gets there. You will see stronger winds before you get the rain moving in to the area. And then the rain will get by, we'll probably about 30 to 45 minutes. That's when we'll see the rain start to move into Norman. So again, right around 10:30, 10:30-ish in that region, that time frame, is when we'll start to see that rain move into Norman and the OU campus. So I know we have some students that moved in today, so if you moved in today and you're still outside getting some things for your dorm room or things like that, you want to wrap that up here pretty soon, because you're going to have some very heavy rain moving in, and also some lightning. You'll lead some localized flash flooding, and then again, the wind gusts with that, and then maybe some small hails. And you'll be aware of that as that storm's coming in, moving in pretty fast, coming in pretty hefty, and these are definitely some strong, severe storms. They're not necessarily, really mean and bad, but again, they are still severe, and when you have a severe storm, you can have damage with that, and it can cause problems. Just because there's no tornado doesn't mean there's not going to be anything significant with it. So,
and we have that outflow boundary just now approaching Tulsa. It actually is just entering Tulsa.
Okay.
And with that, we've got a report of 40-mile-an-hour winds just outside to the north of Tulsa.
Just to the north of Tulsa? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so that would be near North Tulsa, near Turley then. Yeah, so that's actually, I think that's the Skychuk Mesonet site.
Yeah.
So the Skychuk Mesonet site, which is just to the west of Skychuk, picked up a 40-mile-an-hour wind gust as these storms move through. So, I mean, overall, these storms are actually showing a bit of a weakening trend. They're showing a bit of a weakening trend.
Dominant for sure.
Yeah, they're definitely, showing a bit of a weakening trend, which is a good sign. That's good news there, but they still are strong. We're still seeing those wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour. That outflow boundary has now moved through downtown Tulsa, so it's now making its way towards southern Tulsa, the Embarcadero, Jinx, Bixby. You still have those storms coming through pretty soon. The outflow boundary will be coming with it. Again, very, very, pretty strong outflow boundary moving through with these storms. So I'm looking to see if we have anything. Okay, so Perkins, which is in Payne County, we had a report of a thunderstorm wind gust of 60 miles an hour estimated. So that's, again, in Perkins, then Payne County. So again, that's what we're looking at.
And I just pulled up the 3-hour air temperature change, and we're down about 20 degrees nearly just to the west of Oklahoma City. Actually, Oklahoma City is getting a 20-degree temperature change right now.
Wow, in 3 hours. That's a pretty good drop. That's a pretty good drop. Pretty strong cold front. Get the rain, cooled air, and different things like that. That's a pretty decent drop. 3-hour rainfall coming in. And then let's talk about the rainfall. Do we got any? We'll look at some rainfall reports coming from these line of storms. Everybody's wondering, are we going to get lots of rain? We're going to get lots of rain. So again,
it's looking spotty. It's looking like some places are getting just over half an inch of rain.
Okay.
Across central Oklahoma, I'd say about half an inch is what you can expect. Okay. Some areas could get up to an inch though.
Okay. And what's that one that got 1.12 inches of rain?
Right
So Kingfisher
County.
Kingfisher, so the Kingfisher Mesonet site, again, they've picked up over an inch of rain today so far with these cells that have moved through. So that's good news for them. And of course, we need the rain. And we got some really good rain over the past weekend, but we still need rain. You can always have some rain. Rain is always good news. It would just be nice if there was no severe storms with it. But unfortunately, for today, we do have the severe storms. But again, some good news there. Good to have the rain, and it's nice to have the rain with it. So we could see some rain with that. So let's go back. We're going to go to the Oklahoma City radar here. We're going to look at some of the stuff coming in. Again, a much more of the same. There's one severe storm near Yukon. Again, these storms are continuing to show a weakening trend. Really, just in the past, since we've been on, I've noticed that these have definitely gone down and trended down and weakening, which is some good news there. Hopefully we can keep the rain with it, though. It would be nice to get some rain in a lot of places. But again, still, it's still severe in some places. Now
it looks like the only place I can see that's trending upward is just northeast of Oklahoma City. That warning up there near Chandler, Kearney, and Stroud, Oklahoma.
Okay.
Cushing as well. It looks like a uptrending severe storm there.
Okay. Yeah, right there. Kearney and Chandler, Wollaston. Okay. So there's that storm right there he's talking about again. I'll put this into loop here. We'll do the past hour and we'll watch as this storm. We'll see what it does here. So here it comes. Yeah, it has definitely trended up in intensity just a bit there. And again, there's a potential for the 60-mile-an-hour wind gust with this storm. It is severe at this time. So there's a potential for 60-mile-an-hour wind gust. And we can see it has trended up in the past few radar scans. You can see it right there. Well, let's look at the wind here and see if we can see. Oh, yeah, there's some of the winds right there. You can see it right, along that outflow boundary and also behind it. You can see, again, there's definitely some strong wind gusts in there, maybe potentially some 50, maybe even 60 miles an hour. Not much in the way of hail. That's good news. I'm looking at the hail size product. Again, not seeing really anything in the hail size product, so that's some good news there.
Perkins, Oklahoma is now reporting
penny size hail?
3/4 of an inch hail size.
Okay, so penny size hail and Perkins, so that just moved through right there. There's Perkins. So you can see as the storm moved through, I'm pointing out Port Perkins. There it is. There's Perkins, and again, some penny-sized hail with that. So some penny-sized hail right near Perkins. That's the emergency manager that reported that. So there it is right there. Penny-sized hail near Perkins moving through. So that's moving again to the southeast. So again, some small hail, nothing severe at this time, which is some good news. The severe warnings have been for the wind gust, again for 60 miles an hour with the storm.
And flash flooding as well.
Flash flooding, yes, good point. Again, you get that localized heavy rainfall. There could be some flash flooding with this. It may not last very long, but there could still be some flash flooding. So if you're out driving around through these storms, be careful, but don't stop under overpasses. Don't stop under overpasses when you're driving through a storm. It's not a good idea. You cause traffic jams on the road. Not a good idea. You don't want to do that whenever you're driving. So if you go under an overpass, don't stop under it. You don't want to do that. It's really bad news. You do not want to do that as you get through these storms. So again, we're continuing to watch these storms. It's still much the same, just some wind gust trending downward in intensity, which is some good news as I continue to trend down to the intensity. But I'm going to look at some and see if there's any more reports coming in. The rain rate at Fort Cobb, so 9 miles north of Fort Cobb, this is coming from the Caddo County Emergency Manager. The rain rate for Fort Cobb was 8.81 inches per hour at 9:50 p.m. That is a lot of rain falling very, very fast. And again, that probably only would be for a couple of minutes in a very short amount of time, but still, that just tells you how much rain and how fast it's falling as these storms move through. So again, that's coming in from the Caddo County Emergency Manager right there.
In the last hour, Fort Cobb got a wind gust estimate of 48 miles an hour.
48 miles an hour.
That actually seems like the highest wind estimate, I guess, paired with Hinton.
Not 48 or so.
In the last hour.
So
really
48.
The wind gusts are trending downward.
Which is some good news there. So 48, again, a 48 mile an hour wind gust with that report that just came in there, and then Nash looked in the Mesonet, had that wind gust to 48 miles an hour at Fort Cobb is. So again, I mean, there's just very heavy rain, some gusty winds, it's a very small hail, and that's the only thing to worry about. We're not looking at any tornado threat with these storms at this time. Nothing looks tornadic at this time, so nothing to worry about there. Again, just some severe storms that just kind of perked up intensity, and that's something we're keeping an eye on. So we'll continue to look at this. I'm going to continue to look again. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them on the Facebook post here, and I will answer them if I can. I'm not seeing anything at the moment, but I'll continue to watch it as it goes through. I'm also going to see if there's any reports coming in. Not really seeing anything at this time. Again, just that severe thunderstorm warning continues.
I'm seeing a few
significant weather advisory, and that's about it.
From unverified sources of power issues in Oklahoma City Metro.
Oklahoma City Metro?
Yeah.
Okay, you might look that up. You might go to PSO maybe. Yeah, see if you can find anything. Look at that. Or see if we can see. We'll try to get some information on that if there's any power outages. Again, get these stronger winds. Again, it could briefly knock out the power as these storms move through. It wouldn't surprise me if we did see some power outages with these storms, because again, you get these stronger winds, and also there's a lot of lightning out there. There's really a lot of lightning with these cells. And so that is definitely another reason why we want to be concerned potentially for some power outages. Hopefully they'll be brief, but again, you could definitely see some of that with these storms. So we're continuing to watch these. Again, not seeing too much in the way of anything major at the moment. Just continue to watch these severe storms as they move through. I'm going to put I'm going to put the outflow boundary itself is about 6 miles outside of downtown Norman. So if you're in Norman, outflow boundary is getting here very soon. Moving in very, very soon.
Outages seem like they're in the Kingfisher area.
Kingfisher area, so someone electric cooperation on Twitter saying they have some outages with our system, a lot of dripping around the Kingfisher area, and crews are working to restore power. So again, Kingfisher is up in this area. So Kingfisher, they had the storms earlier, a couple of hours ago, or about an hour or two ago. So there's Kingfisher dealing with some power outages there. The crews are working on it, and they're going to try to get it fixed as soon as they can. So there is some power outages near the Kingfisher area. How you have to report for there. So let's go back. I'm going to look at this outflow boundary. It's getting a lot closer to Norman here. Zoom in. So it's already moved through South Moore. And it's going to make its way into Norman here very shortly. I'm going to try to get rid of some of this clutter coming in. There it is right there. So there's the leading edge of that boundary. And why is it showing up on radar, you might ask? Well, the reason why it's showing up on radar is because when you have these outflow boundaries like that, they can really pick up dust and debris and maybe sometimes cause insects to fly or birds to fly, things like that. And that's what the radar is picking up. It's not actually, picking up this wind. It does measure wind, but what you're seeing in this green here is actually just the things that the strong winds are picking up, and the radar is picking up what the strong winds are blowing up, and that's what we're seeing. So it's getting closer now. It's almost to Robinson Street in Norman. So again, Robinson Street is right there. There's Robinson Street. This is obviously Interstate 35. It's getting closer to Robinson Street. In fact, I'm going to put a measuring tool on it. And it's about almost 4 miles away from Robinson Street, moving in. So it'll be in the next 10 minutes. This outflow boundary will be moving through. So if you're in Norman, you're about to get some stronger wind gusts, again, maybe 40 with this outflow boundary as it moves through. Nothing to be really concerned about, but again, keep an eye on it because it's continuing to move through and moving towards the area. But there's the outflow boundary moving through, moving to the southeast, moving pretty fast, and separate itself from the storms itself. It looks like we might have a bit of an uptick in the wind, maybe some small hail now in the southwestern Oklahoma City, just near, we're going to go over here, so this is right near 54th, actually right near the airport, really, so just to the east of Will Rogers Airport, World Airport right there, maybe a little bit of an uptick, and potentially maybe some small hail with that, maybe some penny-sized hail with that, maybe some nickel-sized hail with that. You see right there, it's picking up that pink purple that you see. That's the radar picking up some stronger reflectivity readings, which is typically sometimes indicative of hail, maybe some small hail with that. That's getting very close to the airport. The airport is right here. So here's the airport. There's Will Rogers Airport, and then there is maybe a little bit of hail. Again, it's not looking like anything major. Doesn't look like any quarter-sized hail at this time, but maybe a little bit. So some nickel to penny-sized hail right there. That's in far southwestern Oklahoma City. So, yes.
The Storm Prediction Center did put out a new mesoscale discussion to kind of like summarize it. They're basically saying the outflow boundary is several miles ahead of most of the convection. So as a general trend, they expect this whole line to weaken, which is a good thing.
Okay.
But the severe threat should diminish, but the wind is still the main
Still there
threat.
because of the outflow. So again, this outflow does affect these storms as they move to the southeast. You get this cooler outflow, and it can cause the storms to sometimes weaken. It can cause them to strengthen. Just depends on other things happening that can cause the storms to move. So that's some good news there. That's a technical discussion coming from the Storm Prediction Center. What they do when they issue those watches, they issue a severe thunderstorm or a tornado watch, and then after that, what they'll do is they'll actually, update things as they go through. So maybe an hour later, they might issue an update or different things like that. And so that's what he's referring to there is that technical discussion saying, all right, this is what we're watching. We're seeing this occur. You can expect the severe threat to continue, the severe threat to diminish. You can expect the severe threat to increase, different things like that. And so, again, we're looking at a general trend of these storms weakening and somewhat, in thanks a bit, to the outflow boundary moving from these storms. So we're continuing to watch. I'm going to see if there's anything. Strongest wind signature now, this is coming in from a report here. Strongest wind signature now from near East Mustang over to around Will Rogers Airport. Winds up to around 60 miles an hour possible in this area. So again, that's from near Mustang to Will Rogers Airport. That's really that area we were just looking at Really, we were just looking at that area, and I'm going to show you if I can pull it up on the velocity here. So yeah, again, yeah, we can kind of see it right there. That area of wind is where we're watching it. So right here near Mustang, so this region right here, that's where we're looking at the potential for those stronger winds. Because there's Mustang, there's the airport, that's the area we're looking at for those stronger winds as they're moving through. And let's see if we'll see what the radar's picking up. Again, it sometimes shows a little bit of a lesser reading than what might actually be there. But again, you can still have those stronger winds with that. Yes.
Another thing that we're seeing is up here in northeast of Oklahoma City, down near Cushing. If you put that in motion, you can really see that outflow boundary extend to the south. It seems like the storms are hugging it and becoming more severe as far as their growth along with it.
Along
right
that line, thanks to the outflow boundary kind of coming in.
If that trend were to continue, it looks like Chandler, Sparks, and the Meeker and Prague area all are in the line of what could be the strongest part of the northern area of the storm.
Okay. Yeah, because I can see that there. You can see the outflow boundary. You kind of see it's kind of getting, in a way, you could call it, it's getting pulled back into the storm sometime. And that's kind of what it's talking about, the emergence of the outflow boundary. That's what we're seeing there, right around Chandler, just to the west of it. And so again, if you're in Chandler, or if you're driving on I-44 and between Luther and Chandler, then up towards Bristow, get ready, because you're going to have some storms moving in right now. They are going to continue the severe thunderstorm warning for Canadian, Cleveland, Grady, McLean, and Oklahoma County until 10:15 p.m. So severe thunderstorm warning will continue, and the warning wordage has 70-mile-an-hour winds possible with that. And it's that main area we're just looking at, in between Mustang and in between the airport there. That's the biggest thing that we're watching for that. And I'm going to get a little bit of track on here. We might track this thing out. So these storms are moving southeast now at 15 miles an hour. So I'm going to track this out. So here we go. Let's track this out just a bit. We're going to do a squall track here. So here's the area of the stronger part of the storm. I'm just going to kind of track it out here. Moving southeast at about 15 miles an hour. So let's track it out here. Again, in total, it'll be about 10 minutes. So more, the rain part. You already had the outflow boundary, but the stronger winds and the rain is about maybe 20 minutes, a little bit longer. There's actually a bit of an area right there. You can see that area right there. That could bring you some rain. But, the wind gust, again, moving into your area very soon with the next 10 to 15 to 20 minutes. So that'll be moving in your direction, that main area of the stronger winds. And so that severe thunderstorm warning will continue until 10:15 p.m. tonight. It's 10:05 right now. They could, again, extend the warning more towards the south as the storm continues to move more further to the south. We'll have to see as it continues to move to the south. So that's what we're going to keep an eye on. Again, it does look like near Chandler and also near the more Mustang area. It seem to be the main areas of concern for the strong damaging wind gusts at this time. Anything on social media? See anything?
I'm not seeing. I'm seeing some more power outages. Nobody's really specific about anything as far as that. SPC is still saying storms should diminish in the next hour to two.
Okay.
But however, some people notice a uptick in the speed of the storms, especially near the one approaching the Norman area.
Okay. The one approaching Norman. Okay, that severe storm there that we just were looking at. Okay.
Into.
Okay, so yeah, again, looking at that, that's what we're looking at, the storm right there, seeing maybe an uptick in the intensity on that storm. Again, it does remain severe at this time until 10:15. So there's, I'm reading a report coming in right now. Near Will Rogers Airport, again, this one area right here, near Will Rogers and also near Mustang, there's a very strong indication of some stronger winds coming in. Let's see if I can get that here on my radar here. Let's see if I can get a little bit up. So there it is right there. It does look like definitely some stronger winds with that. And right near the airport in this region, definitely some stronger winds with that. And that's the main area of concern for the strong winds, maybe as high as 60. Again, the warning officially has 70 miles an hour, but sometimes you're not going to see 70 miles an hour in every single area in the warning. Which means you could potentially see up to 70 miles an hour winds gust with these storms as they move through. Let's go ahead and get an update. I'm gonna go up to the Tulsa area. We're gonna take a look at that really quick. Let's get an update from there. Again, the storms now have moved. Almost the rain has moved into downtown Tulsa, so it'll be in downtown Tulsa very shortly. Moving into that area there. Again, these storms have weakened. They are no longer severe. They are still strong, though, along this outflow boundary that we continue to talk about over and over. See the strong wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour, and with the storms themselves, could see a couple of wind gusts up to 50, but we're not looking at any severe wind gusts with these storms to the northeast at this time near the Tulsa metro area. So again, no storms are weekend. That's good news there. The main and only severe storm is near downtown Oklahoma City and just to the west of downtown Oklahoma City right now.
We are still seeing some isolated cases of well over an inch of rain,
Okay.
especially as you work farther north.
Okay.
Into, I guess, around the Tulsa area, just outside near Wyona.
Okay.
And
Pawnee. Okay.
Pawnee, Stillwater.
1.62 inches in
Yep,
Stillwater.
and,
wow. Okay.
NOAA's reporting just
No
over
water?
2 inches, but
oh wow, so no water
that
up
could
there.
be an error. It is preliminary data, but it is through Oklahoma Mesonet. So
Yep, so it probably is correct more
Yes,
than likely.
more
The
than likely.
Mesonet typically isn't wrong.
I'm-
Oklahoma Mesonet. So I mean, you can see that you get these very heavy localized bands of rain. You can see that, and I just got another one. Fort Cobb, 6 miles north of Fort Cobb, 1.6 inches of rain in the past 25 minutes. So in the past 30 minutes, over an inch and a half of rain. So these storms are definitely dropping a lot of water with them, which again can lead to that more localized flash flooding. Now, there's no flash flood warnings at this time because these storms are kind of quick in nature, so the flash flooding might not last very long. But while they're falling, they can definitely cause a lot of flash flooding. Okay, so let's go back now. Keep an eye on the storm coming into Moore and then also into Norman because again that is severe. We're going to keep a very close eye on that as it continues to work its way to the southeast itself. We'll see if there's any more information coming in there. Keep an eye again. If you have any reports, feel free to post them here on the video, or else you can post them on Twitter. If you have anything interesting, use the hashtag OKWX. You can also tag Oklahoma Weather Lab, OKWX Lab. So you can tag us on there. Any pics you might have or any reports you might have, feel free to tag us on there, and we'll get those reports into us as the storms go through. So again, we're continuing to watch these storms as they continue to move to the southeast. They're kind of moving. So the storms themselves are moving at an all right pace, not exactly very fast, but they still are moving at a decent speed as they continue to move to the southeast. Now we have the rain now moving into Moore very shortly. There's downtown Moore. So you say 119th Street, 104th Street, also 89th Street having some very heavy rain in between Portland Avenue, and also near May, and then over to Santa Fe. And just right there, there's that's actually I-240 right there. That's right there. Is that coming through? I-240 Service Road. Then there's I-35 coming down to the south. So that intersection right there is definitely seeing some heavy rain. You might look up traffic and see if you're seeing
Sure.
any. See if we're seeing any kind of slowdowns, maybe at the
Also
Google Maps,
important to
something
note,
like that.
there's a flood advisory all the way stretching from southwestern Oklahoma up to northeastern
okay.
around the Tulsa area. A few flash flood warnings up there as well in northeastern extreme Oklahoma.
Okay. All right, so that makes sense. So I'll have to keep an eye on that. Okay. All right, so let's keep an eye on those as it goes through. Again, so that we'll have to keep an eye on that.
And that would
Again,
make sense with
localized flooding with these storms.
The
again,
rainfall totals we saw.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
When it matches up with the rainfall totals that we saw, so matches up with the rainfall totals, and again, to see localized flooding with this. Again, you're gonna see localized flooding with the storms and the cells as they move through. So this continues to move to the southeast. There's the alpha boundary. In fact, it's almost in Norman. It actually is in Norman, the alpha boundary. So we'll have to keep an eye on the Mesonet site, the Norman Mesonet site. We'll keep an eye on that as this alpha boundary moves through, and we'll be able to see if there's very much moving into it. Let's see if we're getting any strong wind gusts with this alpha boundary that continues to move into Norman. So it's about to move into Norman very shortly. Again, here it is. There it is, right there. It's into Norman. It's already to Hall Park, which is considered very North Norman. There's Robinson Street. Earlier it was to the north of Robinson Street. It's about 4 miles north of Robinson Street. And now it's already moving into Norman itself. So it's a pretty decent speed. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as this moves through. Again, this is not severe, but this outflow boundary is producing wind gusts up to 40, maybe even 45 miles an hour as it moves through. I have no update on the severe thunderstorm warning. We'll see what the Weather Service decides to do there. Maybe if they decide to extend the warning, or if they also maybe go somewhere else. We'll have to see what they decide to do there as that continues to move to the southeast. We'll have to see if they decide to extend the warning. If they decide to do something else, we'll have to keep an eye on and see what they're doing right now. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. Yes.
The area of the storm just north of Newcastle. It looks like the gust front just
Newcastle.
went through and it's starting to intensify.
Okay.
Right above Newcastle. So
Right above Newcastle. Okay, right there, so north of Newcastle.
Definitely.
Okay, yeah, we can see that. You can see that right there. What he's talking about, right there, north of Newcastle. So there it is, right there, north of Newcastle. You can see it moving in. You see that moving in right there. There it is. It's moving in to. It's going to be moving just to the east of Newcastle, and also coming into more very shortly. Again, you can see it coming in right there. there it is moving in. So you start coming into Newcastle again. Lots of lightning with this. And again, it's very heavy rain with this as it continues to move to the southeast. Let's see, is there any update? I'm looking to see. Nothing yet. No updates yet on the warning if they'll be extending that at all. We'll have to see what they decide to do there. It would not surprise me if they extended it because, again, we are still continuing to see at least some radar indications of some stronger winds. Now, based on some of the reports we've seen, maybe we're not seeing some of that strong winds make it to the ground yet. And what you can see is, again, remember, the radar is not on the ground. The radar is up in the air and it's seeing up into the storm. So sometimes the radar may detect something, but it can be very high up, and those strong winds may not actually be reaching the ground, so to say, because the radar is seeing it higher in the air. But that doesn't mean you won't see strong winds. It just means that they may not have made it down to the ground yet. That's one thing that you look for when you're looking at radar. That's one thing you have to keep an eye on for, because, again, it can be higher up there, not always on the ground. That's why sometimes we see the radar and sometimes have indications of strong winds, which could prompt a severe thunderstorm warning, but doesn't always mean that a severe thunderstorm warning is on the ground or the severe winds are making it to the ground.
Got a really interesting photo taken near Sickles, Oklahoma.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna see if I can check.
So that is that. But this is in the hashtag OKWX hashtag, and it's posted about 3 minutes ago.
Okay. Here, I'm gonna pull that up right here. I'm gonna pull up that picture. So here, this is around 9 p.m. I'm going to pull that up. All right, here, I'm going to change this real quick so that you guys can see that. Here it is. Okay, there it is. So this is a shelf. This is a shelf cloud there by team. There it is. So, okay, here it is. So here we have it pulled up right there. So that's near Sickles, Oklahoma. It's about 9 p.m. It's a shelf cloud, but you can see the shelf right there. So that's the shelf cloud you can see with the storms as they're moving through. And that's typically indicative of strong winds, so you can see that moving in. I'm also looking at a few other reports. This is from Nolan right here. This is actually an Oklahoma Weather Lab member. You can see, again, part of that shelf cloud you can see along it. And he's thinking maybe there might be a little bit of updraft base. It's not very surprising. Sometimes you can see an updraft base with these storms as they move through. So you can see that picture. You can kind of see it right there in that region. So you can see my mouse there. So you can see it right there. Again, that's the updraft base right there with that. So again, not always. It doesn't always mean that there's anything there, but you can see seeing it right there, and that's all we're seeing right now on things. So good report there looking at that. So we're going to go back to radar now. So again, there it is right there. There's a storm now I'm looking at. Okay, so they are not doing a severe thunderstorm warning, but they are doing what we call a heavy T-storm advisory. So a heavy T-storm advisory, or also call a strong thunderstorm, and that also is for they're going to let the severe thunderstorm warning expire because, again, they're not seeing any near-term indications that the strong winds, those 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, are making it down to the ground at this time. So, again, we're looking at one gust to 50 miles an hour, and also some flooding in areas of poor drainage. Obviously, Norman, typically when you see some rain, it does cause the rain to come in, and so we'll keep an eye on that. Okay, those strong thunderstorms are on the line. Oklahoma City, 4 miles southeast of Moore, 3 miles northwest of Tuttle, moving southeast at about 35 miles an hour. So again, it's that main line of strong thunderstorms right there, moving to the southeast. And there they are right there. There's a need to move to the southeast, and there's that line of storms as it moves through. So there's that line of storms moving through, and we'll keep an eye on that as we continue to go through. As we continue to go the next really about 15 minutes or so. So we'd originally thought the storms are going to make it into Norman around 10:30. It does look like that's going to verify there. It does look like the rain will make it into Norman right around the 10:30 time frame. So again, we've been talking about it for the past 20-30 minutes. There is that rain moving towards Norman right now. So you're going to see some rain in Norman in about the next 15 to 20 minutes. So if you got your rain jacket, make sure you have that, your umbrella. If your windows are rolled down, make sure you go and roll those up. And there's definitely lots of lightning out there in Norman at this time. There, the radar just updated. You can see that surge in rain coming to the south right there, coming to the southeast. Here it comes. There's the rain. All right, it's right near Moore. It's right over Moore. The rain is right over Moore, moving towards to the southeast of Moore right at this time. There it comes. It's coming towards Norman. The outflow boundary is about to hit where we are. We're actually broadcasting from the National Weather Center, and that's about to reach our location. So we might feel some wind on the walls here very shortly. National might feel some winds with that strong winds. It'll also come by the Mesonet site very soon. I actually might have already gone through. Let's see. Do you have any Mesonet reports?
Yeah,
not 30, 25,
it's about
31.
15 mile per hour winds faster than what we were seeing. About 25 mile an hour wind reports here in Norman. Just north of Norman in eastern Oklahoma City, we're getting 31 miles an hour mile per hour winds. To Spencer, Oklahoma, 38 mile an hour winds. So really a line of upper 30s when we were seeing upper 40s to 50s. So it looks like they're
continuing to weaken.
The strongest area still appears to be coming right into Cleveland County.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
it's definitely something to watch out for.
Okay.
Another
Okay.
thing we should definitely mention is there's going to be quite a bit of lightning with this. We're seeing
Lots
just
of lightning. Also, a
lots-
whole lot of lightning with these
lots of
storms as
energy
they move
in the
through.
atmosphere, for sure, and that's definitely another threat that we need.
Yeah,
to address.
definitely.
As if we don't have
lightning's not
enough,
something
right?
to mess around with. You don't want to mess around with lightning. Lightning is dangerous. It can strike you. You shouldn't think that lightning can't strike you. It can strike you. Lightning can hit you, and you want to avoid lightning. It's not something you want to mess around with, play around with. It is dangerous. And keep an eye on that. And then again, there's a lot of lightning with these storms as they're moving through. A lot of lightning, some very heavy rain. Again, we're keeping an eye out for that flooding. That flooding is definitely going to be an issue here in Norman about the next 20, 30 minutes when this storm gets in here. There's going to be a lot of flooding. Oh, yeah. Again, we're seeing, a half of an inch. You might go to the 1 hour rainfall. Let's see in the 1 hour rainfall. So maybe hit the rainfall there. And we'll see what the 1 hour, and we'll see how much rain we've been seeing in an hour
There we go.
in some places. There we go. Okay, so we got, almost over half an inch
El Reno
in an
has
hour. In El Reno, almost
3/4
of an inch of rain. That is just, very heavy rain, significant rain falling. Again, it's going to cause some localized flooding issues with this storm as it moves through, and that's what you're going to keep an eye on. As the rain continues to fall, here it comes. Again, the outflow boundary has already moved through Norman. The rain is getting closer. There's another little part. Okay, so we haven't seen this there, right near Newcastle. Another cell's kind of, in a way, a cell there has kind of popped up. So Norman, again, the rain is inbound. It's going to be here very shortly, moving into Norman very, very shortly. Yes.
Another thing to see is we're getting a lot of heavy rainfall up near Miami, stretching down to Nowata.
Okay.
That whole area, we need to address the flooding threat up there as well.
Okay.
We've been paying a lot of attention to the metro, but there are some strong storms up there. Not quite as strong as in the metro, but
Right.
definitely a
Wind-wise.
flooding threat up there. We're seeing a lot of flash flood watches and a few warnings just outside of the state, but very still close to that Miami area.
Okay, so yeah, again, Miami, near Grove, Bonita, Pryor, some very heavy rain falling with these. They aren't severe, which is why we aren't really talking about them too much, but we should mention them because, again, they're going to be there. Keep an eye on them as they're going through. And so you can see there northeast. And so, again, very heavy rain with these, some strong wind gusts with these as they continue to move through. And that's the main concern with these rainfall. 1.15 inches of rain in Miami in the past hour. Wow, that is a whole lot of rain falling in Miami. Just in the past hour. That could definitely lead to some localized flooding issues, a whole lot of localized flooding issues with those storms move through. And then Veneta, obviously, and getting some heavy rain in Chelsea. So again, although these are not severe, you still want to keep an eye on them because they're going to be moving in this location very, very shortly. So again, they're going to continue to move through, continue to bring some heavy rain with that, with those cells right there. Okay, we're going to go back to the metro now because again, we're keeping an eye on now. Although they're not severe, they are getting very close to Norman here, and that's what we're going to keep a very close eye on. That heavy rain is inbound to Norman very shortly. Within the next 10 to 15 minutes, they're going to be moving into Norman. So within the next 10 to 15 minutes, they're going to be moving into Norman. I'm going to see if I have any reports coming in here. They're continuing the severe thunderstorm warning for Lincoln County. So that's to our northeast. That's the storms we were talking about earlier as they showed kind of a bit of an uptick in intensity in the past 30 minutes or so. And here we can see them there. Again, there's Chandler. They're continuing there. So near Chandler, seeing some strong wind gusts with this. Right along the cell, there's the cell right there. So again, the potential for some 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts with that storm. And then also to the southwest of Oklahoma City Metro, near Hobart, and then Darko, down to the southwest. We're seeing some strong storms with that as they continue to move too. So Chickasay, they're about to see in the outflow boundary right now. No rain at the moment, but you're seeing the outflow boundary, which means you could see some wind gusts to 40, 45 miles an hour. And there's the storms right there. Continue to move to the southeast, right near Moore. And then move right there. 2,000 homes without power in Owasso, and 5,600 homes without power in Rogers County. So again, okay, so we got some power outages again in Owasso. Let's go where Owasso. So Owasso is up here. That's up near the Tulsa Metro. There's Owasso. So again, about some power outages coming from Owasso, also about 5,600 in Rogers County. So again, even though these storms are not severe at this time, we're still seeing some power outages. And that could very likely be due to the lightning, more than likely. Definitely maybe the lightning could be causing that. It could be the lightning that we continue to see. That could definitely be the cause of those power outages. Hopefully they can get them restored here pretty soon. But we're already seeing some power outages with those cells as we move through. So it's a good report there. Hopefully they can get that fixed. Any updates on power outages in the metro and OKC Metro at all?
I'm not seeing anything. A few mentions of power flashes in just
power
north
flashes.
of Norman, but other than that, I'm not seeing any
Northwest of North Norman. Okay.
official
Okay.
people saying anything
Okay, so some power flashes now northwest of North Norman, and that's where that strongest part of that storm is. That's where the
Makes
strongest
sense.
part of the storm is just northwest of Norman. And again, there's the power outages.
I don't know about you. I would not want to be outside to verify that
Yeah,
right now.
might have to go outside and check and see if that's verified, and then just come back inside here. Check and see if it's can you verify and check a thing like that. We'll have to see as that moves in. He's going to go, see what's going on out there. Again, some power flashes northwest of Norman we're seeing. So there's power flashes right there in this region is where we're seeing those coming in. So again, just because these are not severe does not mean you cannot see any damage or anything with this, with the lightning and the heavy rain, and also with that, especially the lightning. More than I would not be surprised if that was from lightning. Again, looking at some of the wind gusts coming in.
That's the area around where the power was out, or where all those houses were reported without power near Pryor. They're getting a 34-mile-an-hour wind gust, so it could very well just be the wind gust.
It could be the wind. It's probably the lightning more than likely. It definitely looks like these power outages could be related to lightning. Again, a lot of lightning like this, you can see those power outages, so that's probably what we could be seeing with that. Hopefully they can get those power outages fixed here pretty soon. Hopefully they can get them really soon. Another report coming in. This is Fort Cobb.
Yeah.
2.6 inches of rain. About 6 miles north of Fort Cobb.
And
they had a 48-mile-an-hour wind gust.
48-mile-an-hour wind gust just reported in Fort Cobb within the last hour. So they really got hit hard
pretty shortly. Again, and they're seeing those storms right now near Fort Cobb. There's Fort Cobb, and I'm going to switch to a different radar here so we can see this just a little bit better. There it is. So that looks a little bit better. Again, there's Fort Cobb, and again, the emergency manager there is reporting again that 2.6 inches of rain with these cells. That is a whole lot of rain. That again, that's going to cause some localized flooding issues for sure near the Fort Cobb area. Again, some localized flooding issues right there in Fort Cobb, and again, a 48-mile-an-hour wind gust with that. So near Bridge Creek, 1 mile south of Bridge Creek, we have winds increased substantially at this time. So again, it's probably just those winds are moving in. You can sometimes see an uptick in winds when these storms move through. That sometimes they can interact with other storms. We can see some inflow coming in, something like that, an outflow of surge or some cool air coming in. Anything like that could cause these winds to sometimes increase very quickly, sometimes less, and it can. Again, 50-mile-an-hour wind gust with this storm as it moves through, and you can see it moving through right there, and that's what we're looking for. Okay, four power flashes 10 minutes ago, northwest. So again, that's near the OMEA conference. So again, they had about 4 power flashes 10 minutes ago. So again, we are seeing some power flashes with these storms. So if you do see a power flash, again, that just means you have some stronger winds. Could be definitely the lightning or different things like that. You can see that right now. Some gust coming in right now. So again, I'm still seeing some gust come in with that. And he's got an update on the Lincoln County storm.
Yeah, the Lincoln County storm is intensifying, just like we mentioned earlier. That whole the Sparks, Oklahoma area. Davenport looks like they're getting hit very hard right now, just south of Stroud, Oklahoma. Lots of lightning, heavy rainfall, and more of an uptick in storms. It seems to have caught up with its gust front, which usually can.
Kind of enhance the wind sometimes, and it's probably what we're seeing there now. So just near the west of Stroud to the south of Stroud, so the area I've circled here, we're seeing an uptick in intensity there in the Lincoln County storms. Again, if you're in Lincoln County, keep an eye on that as this storm continues to move through. It is severe still at this time. Wind gust up to 60 miles an hour with this as it continues to move through. So again, we're keeping a very close eye on that storm as it continues to move through. Again, there's a potential for this strong wind gust with that storm right there. Okay, so again, that's a good report out there coming from the Lincoln County storm. I'm just keeping a very close eye on this cell near Moore, also west of Moore and Newcastle. Based on what I'm seeing here, it does look like there is some pretty fairly strong wind gusts. Maybe not necessarily severe. And again, a severe wind gust is considered 58 miles an hour or greater. So maybe not necessarily a severe wind gust, but I do think the potential for some 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts does seem like a pretty good possibility with this kind of area right here. And it's going to be moving towards Norman very shortly. So again, we're going to be keeping a very close eye on that again and with those storms that come through. And we probably have some power outages in some areas. So far, Norman Mesonet has only gusted at 31 miles an hour. So that gust front that moved through, again, about 30 miles an hour, maybe potentially up to 40 miles an hour. But again, the only main wind report we've gotten in the past hour was near Fort Cobb, which again has 48 miles an hour. So again, I'm getting some more information on some power flashes that we had reported earlier. 4 power flashes that is coming from the Embassy Suites in Norman, which is actually on the north side of Norman. So over near the north side of Norman again, which is it's actually right here. So that's where the this report coming into the power flashes where it was just to the northwest of this region. So it would have been near Franklin Road, 72nd. Comes out, and it's probably where those power flashes occurred is near that area right there. So that's probably where we saw a couple of those power flashes again.
Have video
about 10 minutes
power
ago.
flashes in just power flashes in Moore now.
More, so it's probably to the north. Okay, because that technically is more. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can pull that up over here. Okay, so that is that McKinsey there that was reporting that?
Yep.
Okay, I'll see if I can pull that in there. So, okay, here we go. All right, we'll see if I can pull that up here. I'm gonna pull up that video here so we can see those storms come through. I'm about to pull it up. So here we go. There they are. Okay, so here comes the power
Very
flashes.
hard
We'll
to
see them.
see,
There they
but-
are. Okay, so you can barely see them though. You can barely see it in the video, right? And there it is. So you can see that might have been lightning too. That could have been lightning, maybe some power flashes. So again,
Very
could see
low
some
to the
power
ground
flashes.
regardless. Very hazardous.
Yeah,
either way.
definitely. Yeah, definitely. So again, there could be some potential for some power flashes, different things like that. So again, that's always a possibility with these storms as they continue to move through. So again, we're keeping an eye on that right there. So that's a good report coming in there. The video coming in right there. Continue to watch that again. So again, these storms continue to be inbound, and we're keeping an eye on that as the storms continue to move in the area, and they're getting very, very close to the area right now. So again,
That's
definitely some storms coming in, getting close to Norman right now.
Some more photos from East Norman, just very low-hanging clouds, ominous kind of
Okay,
leading
low-hanging
into
ominous
the
clouds. Here's that picture right there. I'm going to pull that picture
leading
right
edge of the
there.
storm.
There it is. Okay, so there's a picture right there. You can actually see it. There's the picture right there. Yeah, again, definitely some low-hanging clouds there. I mean, there's going to be some scary-looking clouds with these storms, so don't be necessarily concerned when you do see a scary-looking cloud, because it does seem to be a possibility with a few of these storms. You can sometimes see some scary-looking clouds with this. So again, you sometimes see scary-looking clouds. Obviously, you can see that right there, moving into East Norman. So he's seeing those move into East Norman. But likely that could have been maybe the could have been with the the gust front that came through. That could be with the leading edge that's about to make its way into Norman right now. Again, we're going to continue to keep an eye on that. Again, you're going to see some scary-looking clouds. It doesn't mean that it does anything tornadic. Again, we're not seeing anything tornadic, but it is a possibility to see some very scary-looking clouds or different clouds like that as they move through. Okay, so again, the alpha boundary has made its way well past Norman at this time, and the rain is inbound. So we said about 10:30, and it's actually getting very close to the Norman. So it's almost there. It is literally the rain at this time is it's less than 10 miles away from Norman. So there is a heavy rain. Less than 10 miles, about 5 miles northwest of Norman, the rain is coming in. And another wind report, oh, look at that 40. We just had a 40-mile-an-hour wind gust at the Norman Mesonet side.
Another important thing to note is down near Hobart, Oklahoma.
Hobart, okay, 41-mile-an-hour
that
wind
storm
gust.
has been seeing an uptick in the last few scans, and that's basically the tail of the squall line, you could say. Starting to get more storms develop out that way. It's starting to look a little more menacing now, and I wouldn't be surprised if they extend that warning.
It's warm in this area, down to the southwest near Hobart. So again, I got a 41-mile-an-hour wind gust. And then also in Norman, we had a 40. Was it 40 we had in Norman, I think?
In Norman, we had a report of, I believe, 40-mile-an-hour. Yeah, 40-mile-an-hour.
That would have been just now. So just a few minutes
Within
ago
the last
would have
minute.
that been reported again. So again, a 40-mile-an-hour wind gust reported at the Norman Mesonet side as this rain core starts to work its way into Norman very, very closely. And also winds of 33 miles an hour in Newcastle. And the rain core is about to make it to Newcastle too. So the strongest wind with this storm is definitely in the rain cores themselves. So when you get the heavy rain, that's when you're more than likely going to see the stronger wind gust is during that time right there. So there it is near more. Keep an eye on it. The alpha boundary does seem to have a little bit weaker winds than originally thought. It seems like it's weakened just a tad. It does look like the alpha boundary is only seeing wind gust about 30 miles an hour now, maybe 35 as it moves through. So that's some good news there. At least that's weakened a bit.
If you want to go ahead and scroll the radar down to the Chickasha area,
Chickasha.
It looks like there's an uptick in wind right in that region, a bit
Okay.
stronger than what's coming into Moore. We might want to go ahead and let them know.
Okay, yeah, so northwest of Chickasha, is that what you're looking at? Yeah,
Yeah.
again, so northwest of Chickasha, Pocasset, New Dutton, New Verdon, New Amber, there's that little bit of an uptick. Again, maybe that means you could see a better potential for some 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts with this, maybe 55 miles an hour wind gusts with this. That's just near to the northwest of Chickasha. That is right there. There's I-44. So if you are traveling on I-44 near Chickasha, then you need to keep an eye on that as it continues to move to the southeast right there. So near Chickasha, the storm is moving in through right there. So again, we're keeping an eye on it. Continues to move through. There it is right there. There's more. There's Norman. Can see the storms are just about to Norman. They are just about into Norman very, very soon. So they're going to be in Norman here very soon. We're continue to keep an eye on those that come through. I'm going to see if I have any reports coming in. Not too much seeing in the reports right now, but we'll continue to keep an eye on it as it continues to move to the southeast and also to the south. We'll continue to watch it as it comes through. So here it comes, continues to move to the southeast. I'm looking at some of the chat reports coming in. 57 miles an hour now at the Norman Mesonet site just now. So let's look at that. That's concerning. That's
yes,
just on the boundary.
There's no severe thunderstorm warning for Norman at the
no,
moment.
but they could definitely issue one very shortly.
Soon, yes.
So again, power flashes northwest. Okay, so we are getting power flashes. We now have a report of a 57 mile an hour wind gust in Norman. You need to keep an eye on this if you're in the Norman area. Again, a 57 mile wind gust. That's 1 mile away from severe. That's almost essentially severe.
Possible power outages as
Central Norman. Reports of the power flickering now. So hopefully we don't lose power here.
Yes.
Because unfortunately, if we did lose power, we would lose the broadcast here. But we'll keep an eye on it. How they're going to get closer. But again, as these storms are moving towards Norman, these definitely seem to, we are seeing an uptick in activity. It does appear to be 57 miles an hour at the Norman Mesonet. Again, 1 mile an hour away from severe criteria. Essentially, that's severe. I mean, you could pretty much call that severe.
Yes.
I mean, that's just almost essentially severe in a way.
So that's very impressive. 57 mile an hour wind
gust. 57 mile
an hour
wind gust coming into Norman again. So that is definitely, something to keep an eye on. So if you're in Norman, keep an eye out. These storms are moving through. They've picked up in intensity just a bit now, 57 miles an hour. Would not surprise me if these did become severe. So we'll have to see what the weather service says. This report just came in. This is info coming into us right at the minute. So sometimes we get this info very quickly, and sometimes it takes a minute for things to kind of get set and different things like that. But this info is coming into us within the minute and during the minute, and that's sometimes what we're seeing here. You can see we're getting info coming into us. We try to get out here as quick as possible to get information out to you guys so you guys can do that. So again, we're keeping an eye on that. Again, 57 mile an hour wind gust there. Let's see if we have anything else on Twitter or anything like that you're seeing.
I'm not seeing any new updates besides some power flashes in Norman.
Okay, just power flashes in Norman. Okay, so again,
the Grady County storm is still looking very strong.
Okay.
It looks like like in Norman, it could have some very severe winds.
Okay, so again, we're continuing to see those strong winds in Norman at this time. I'm really concerned about that. I'm going to see if I can find those here on the radar. Let's see if we can. I'm going to zoom in a bit here, pull up the velocity. Again, it does look like it's just kind of hard to see what I've got going on right here. But again, it does seem like those strong winds are making their way into Norman here very shortly. I'm going to try to see what I can pull up here. I'm going to try different products here and see if I can get some things coming in. In fact, I'm going to try to pull up a product here. So again, we're just seeing some very strong winds with those storms that are coming in, continuously coming in Norman right now. The Norman Mesonet is actually to the north of Norman. It's in North Norman, so that's why it seems like, okay, well, there's nothing raining in Norman yet, but the reason why is because it hasn't quite made it into Norman yet, but the storm is getting to Norman. Excuse me. Hasn't quite made it to campus yet. It's getting close to campus, though. We can see it's getting very close to campus. Campus is actually right in this region right here. So again, campus is going to be right over here. There's Jenkins, Maple. This is the North Oval right there. That's where campus is. There your campus is. Lorraine is getting very close. It's getting closer. And then again, we're that reported 57 mile an hour wind gust. That is definitely a very strong wind gust with that storm coming through. And again, there is heavy rain with this. And you keep an eye on that. Heavy rain continues to come in. Yes?
Yeah, another report out of Chickasha. That's that
42. So we were just talking about that. We were just talking about we could see some stronger winds with Chickasha. And then boom, there they go. You got a 42 mile an hour wind gust with those storms as they move into Chickasha. So we were just talking about that. And there it goes. So again, there it is, moving right into Chickasha. Again, strong winds with that. And it does seem like, these storms are still, they're not really, basically getting necessarily very strong yet. But they're definitely maybe a tad stronger than they were about 10 to 15 minutes ago. They have picked up in intensity just about 15 minutes ago as the storms moved through. But again, 57-hour wind gusts right now. We got an update from Lincoln County. They're going to let this severe thunderstorm warning expire. That has definitely weakened a lot, really, in the past few scans. In fact, I want to put this in the last hour, and you can just see, wow, it is definitely, just that last scan, that's really weakened. So that storm has really decreased in intensity, no longer going to be severe. The severe warning will expire then as it comes through. So that severe thunderstorm warning will expire. That means our only severe thunderstorm warning right now is down in southwest Oklahoma, but more than likely that one might also expire here very soon too. So again, but we're keeping an eye And the storm moving in. I have to continue to watch. We'll see if there's any new updates from the mesonet or has it.
No new updates from the Oklahoma hashtag, but as far as mesonet, I have seen about almost an inch of all the storms moving into Norman, about an inch of rainfall total from all the areas. I'm talking around the Spencer.
And we're going to look at, I'll pull up the rain rate here, and we'll just look at the rain rate with these cells. And let's see a little bit. Okay, so here's the rain rate. And again, now this is the rain rate where it's falling right there. And so you can see it says 7.1 inches per hour. Now that doesn't mean that you're going to see 7.1 inches per hour because these storms are moving. Therefore, they're not going to see me that much. It's just saying the intensity of the rain is falling very, very heavily. Again, that is very, very heavy rain making its way towards the southeast. So some very heavy rain going to lead to some localized flooding as the storms move through. Some good news from the emergency managers and more. So far, no damage or even calls to 911. So that's some very good news there. I don't think it'll be the same for Norman. But for Moore, that's some good news there as the storm continues to move through. So that's some good news there. I'm not seeing anything significant more, which is some good news. But again, for Norman, you're still seeing the storm just now move into Norman right at this time. It's not quite to campus yet. The rain is not quite to campus. That's near the north side of campus, but it's not quite all the way to campus, but it will be very shortly. It's actually right near the North Oval. In fact, if I zoom in really close, this is actually the North Oval right here. So the rain is just now getting to the North Oval. Very, very, very shortly, because there's Lindsay Street right there, there's Boyd Street, there's the North Oval, and so we can see it's getting very close to North Oval, but it's not quite onto the entire OU campus yet. But even though it's not quite on the OU campus, you could still see some strong winds with that as the storms come through. So continuing to move through, about to make its way in Norman very shortly. You can see it in very soon, very shortly. You'll see it coming through. The alpha boundary has now made its way towards Washington, over near Cole, north of Lexington. That alpha boundary continues to move to the southeast as these storms continue to move through. So we're keeping an eye on this. We're continuing to watch these storms as they move through. And keep an eye on it as they move through. We'll see if there's anything coming in. Again, not too much coming in here. We're not seeing too much coming in, which is some good news there. So that's some really good news. Coming in through there. We're not seeing too much. That was a cool lightning pick. I'm going to pull up that lightning pick really quick.
It does look like everything's trending into...
yeah, we had that wind gust, but other than that, that's about all we really had was that wind gust.
Sure.
Again, yeah, so I mean, not so anything. Here's a cool pic that just coming into social media here. So there's a picture right there. So again, this is a cool picture coming in. This is over Edmond. So you can see a picture of the lightning there over Edmond. It's a pretty cool picture coming in right there. So again, if you've got pictures, you got anything, put it on social media. Use hashtag OKWX, and we'll be able to see it coming on. There's a picture of lightning right there from Edmond. So that's some pretty cool lightning coming in right there. So we'll go back to the radar here. Again, the storm's moving into Norman. We had that 57-mile-an-hour wind gust a very short time ago, but so far that's about all we've seen. And so sometimes you can see just a very slight uptick on winds. Now it looks like what we've seen here. So far, no indications that those winds are increasing any more than they already have, but you could still see some wind gusts to 55 miles an hour, maybe breaching 57 again. That could have just been a very isolated wind gust, possibly, but we did have that confirmed wind gust to 57 miles an hour with that storm as it moved through. But other than that, not exactly a lot, so much in say severe, which is good news, although that wind gust was very close, considering that's very close to 58 miles an hour. So again, Moore is seeing very heavy rain right now. Eastern sides of Norman seeing very heavy rain. The rest of Norman, you will see rain. It's not quite there yet, but you will see rain very shortly in Norman. So all of Norman is going to get some rain tonight. I can tell you right now, all of Norman is going to get some rain tonight. And all locations across Norman, because it's coming right into that area. So we're going to go back and check out the Tulsa area.
Broken Arrow.
It
looks like a quick uptick.
Some stronger heavy rain there, maybe some heavy rain there. A little bit of an uptick near Broken Arrow. I'm gonna pull up that really quick. So we're gonna go over to the Broken Arrow area. Okay, so Broken Arrow, yeah, there it is. There it is. And I was talking about there. You can see just to the west of Broken Arrow, a little bit of an uptick in activity. Again, probably just some heavy rain there. Maybe some stronger wind gusts with that, but still a bit of an uptick. Not too much to be concerned there, but something to keep an eye on as it continues to move through. But other than that, again, these are all heavy thunderstorms. They have significant weather advisories, which is also going to be called the Heavy T-Storm Advisory. And again, that's for all these storms right here. You can continue to watch. The rain falling with them continues to fall. Now, once these storms move through, that's pretty much all that you're going to have to worry about. And I'm going to put on a national radar here, and we'll kind of see where these storms have been moving through. So again, this is the whole line. So you can see this entire line of storms has really, lasting a long way. So here it is. There's this entire line of storms, and that's all on kind of cold front kind of boundary, frontal boundary. You see it moving through there. That's just going to continue to move to the southeast overnight tonight. That's all it's really going to do. And you can actually see, if I take it back a little ways, we'll go back in 3 hours, you can see that it's coming through. So there it is. It just continues to move to the southeast, a strong line of storm. You can see it was a lot more intense right around the 9 o'clock hour, but it has decreased in intensity fairly significantly, really, in the past, really about the past ever since 10:15 or so. We've started to see it start to decrease in intensity, which is some good news there. But again, that severe thunderstorm watch remains in the areas in peak. That's until midnight tonight. So the severe thunderstorm watch will continue there. We'll have to see. They might cancel it early. We'll have to see what they do as we go through that, as we get through there. So again, Norman, we're about to see some storms very, very soon. I can move in. I'm going to actually get this back on live. There we go. Okay, so again, storms about into Norman. Very heavy rain with these, some strong wind gusts with these. But other than that, that's pretty much all we have to really worry about for that. As those storms continue to move through right there, and they come in. Anything really new? Nothing really new.
Winds staying consistently weak compared to what they were. Still upper 30-mile-an-hour winds. When earlier we were seeing close to 50-mile-an-hour winds in some area. Now that Norman report does look like an outlier compared to everywhere else. Maybe an isolated event. I'd say, the big threat is still wind. You'll get a lot of rain, and as well as the flooding. That could be an issue as we enter into the night. But it looks like the larger severe threat as far as hail and severe winds, meaning over, was it 58 mile an hour for it to be a severe, classified as a severe wind? It doesn't look like that's going to be an issue more than likely for the rest of the night. We'll, of course, stay posted. It looks like the outflow boundary is
because the storms are gradually.
It's outrunning the entire line of storms, and but the good news is all these winds and rain. It's bringing in some cooler temperatures. We're going to be about 20 degrees cooler.
Again, some cooler temperatures, 10, 20 degrees, even cooler. I will update for the folks down in southwest Oklahoma. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued. Caddo, Comanche, Kiowa County. That was just a severe thunderstorm warning right here. Again, that was with the cell we were watching earlier. So there's that severe thunderstorm warning. Again, that goes until 11:30 tonight. So that's severe thunderstorm warning for 11:30. And potential for some 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, but no severe hail expected with this severe storm. The only really strong concern is the wind gusts. So I'll just let you guys keep you guys updated on that for southwest Oklahoma as we keep an eye on that. And the storm continuing to move into Norman right now. But right now, that's about all we really are seeing with these storms. They continue to move through. So that's about all we really see with these storms. They continue to move to the southeast. That's about all we see from there. So I think we're going to go ahead and start the broadcast for tonight. We'll continue to post on social media. So again, if you post on social media, be sure to follow us, OKWX Lab. Follow me at Jordan OWX. You can follow Nash at NashWX. And you can also find us on Facebook too to keep you posted on there. But right now, I think we're going to call for a night for the broadcast wise, because we're not seeing any severe storms. Don't expect these storms to really become any more severe. But we'll keep an eye on Facebook and also for Twitter for updates as these storms move day. But anyway, thank you guys very much for joining and watching us for tonight. And we'll see you guys next time. So thanks to Nash, we might help her out tonight and helping out with lots of report coming in. So all right, we will see you guys next time. But thanks for joining. Thanks for watching.